Good morning, everyone. Dave Genderos here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I put out videos at least once a day related to ways to make money, cryptocurrencies, forex markets, other opportunities I'm involved in, with the goal of showing you and sharing information with you on how you can as well decide for yourself if you want to start making multiple streams of income on the internet. So if you're on my channel here and you're watching a video, just make sure you consider subscribing to my channel. Click the little bell. You'll get an alert when I put out a new video. Today I am going to talk about Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, I believe. I want to share some updates from previous technical analysis that I showed you, just to show where we are and what the next things that could be happening in each one of them. I'm going to try to keep the video as short as possible, but I want to make sure if I talk about a topic, I describe it in somewhat detail so that you guys can learn from this. And that's the goal, to share the information, to show you how to put stuff on the charts, and then for you to go ahead and go pull the charts up and replicate what I did. And you should also be watching some other people. There's a number of people on the YouTube channels that do technical analysis, and from each of us you can get information and learn, and then start doing it for yourself. That's the end goal that you should be looking at. You shouldn't just be looking at our channels looking for a buy signal or something. This is not a signals channel. I don't do that. I don't do signals, and I don't get paid for signals. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I'm sharing technical analysis on the charts, which is a skill set. If you develop, you could become a profitable trader, and no one can take that away from you. So please use this as an educational platform. I kind of say that in so many words in my disclaimer, that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm educating, sharing techniques and ideas of how to use technical analysis to set traps on the charts and wait for price action to do what you think it might do. And you always have to prepare for the bull side and the bear side. So, you don't do anything until you see the price action do something that will trigger you to consider taking a trade. You don't trade within patterns. You don't do any of that. You kind of sit back, you set the traps, and just like when you're hunting, you sit there and you wait for the prey to fall into your trap. So this is basically how you can approach technical analysis. So anyway, just make sure you click to my subscribe to my channel, do a thumbs up if you like the video, follow me, share the video on social media platforms if you have an audience that you want to show that you're following someone that does technical analysis on crypto. Crypto is a big focus on everybody right now, so I've noticed pretty quickly and pretty easily when you look at my videos on my channel, the ones that are getting the most views are the ones that are dealing with crypto. For example, this one here that I put out yesterday, 97. Down here I got one at 167, and then the other ones, good, only 10% compared to these. So it's pretty obvious what you guys are interested in. Again, I request that you put some comments on what you want me to talk about. If you want me to stick with crypto, if you have some cryptos you want me to take a look at, put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to take a look at it and share my thoughts and ideas on how I would chart patterns, chart TA, and what I would do with each one of them. Again, you got to do your own research. You got to figure out for yourself what you're going to get involved in. But again, I'm sharing information. I'm sharing my journey. I'm sharing what I'm doing. And then you got to decide what's good for you. Okay, guys? So welcome to my channel, and let's get into some of the updates on some of the pairs, cryptocurrencies that we've talked about in the past. All right, so here's Cardano, here's Bitcoin, here's Ethereum, and here's Chainlink. Chainlink, it's kind of just sitting there, slowly moving up to our previous target area. Nothing crazy. It's just kind of stalled out. This is also showing it on the daily. So if you scale it a little bit further, you can kind of just see it's kind of slowly going up and down in an upward, it's higher highs and higher lows. So it's at least going upward, which is important. It's not going downward. Let's talk about Ethereum real quick. So yesterday I started showing you, I believe it was more of like a wedge. But today I kind of, I'm going to erase all this so I can show you how to draw it up. But I think yesterday this was more of like a wedge scenario before this other price action was happening. But since yesterday, a couple more this is on the hour time frame. Some more candles have shown. So what you got to go in and you got to modify. You got to adjust the pattern to what price action is presenting you. And I guess you could touch all those wicks and just consider this a little mini fake out, or like on a higher time frame that'll just look like a wick. So you can see this downward channel forming, and it's indicative of a bull flag. So this is the flag, and then what you do is from the point of upward movement, you drag a pole, right? So that's the flagpole. That's the pattern. What you do here is you take a copy of this pole and you put it at the point of breakout, and that is typically the target that you're going for. So this is where price action can go. Now it's all going to matter of how long it's going to continue in this downward path before it finally does the breakout. You can see as you go further down, it's matching somewhat more of our resistance levels that we kind of charted a couple days ago. So I really don't think it's going to go this far down, but you never know. I mean, it's been down to 1400. It's been down to 1300, I think, over here. 1200, yeah, around 1300. So it's been down there, but we'll see. What I want to show you next is how you kind of tell where it is in the retracement from this pivot, and where you might think that it might start changing direction and breaking out. Now, there's no guarantee. Again, with this pattern, you set the pattern up here and you wait for it to either go up or go down. Once it breaks one of those directions, that's when you decide when you want to, if and when you want to take a trade. You don't trade it now while it's in this pattern. So the next step here, what you could do to kind of give you more insight on where things are, is you could do a Fibonacci retracement on this pivot. So from this low to this high, you place the Fibonacci tool. And you could see, there was some actions here at 0.5. There was a little bit more actions here at 0.55. And then look, it came down and it wicked and touched the 0.65 exactly. So if you believe that this is still a pretty bullish market, which, you could kind of see it's doing higher highs here, and ideally it's going to put in a higher low here. Hopefully it doesn't retrace all the way down to here. Cryptos have been known to come down to the 786, but there's a pretty high probability that it's probably going to respect this area and start going upward. So if you think about that, maybe, even if it stays flat with this pattern, if it stays flat and just kind of goes this way and stays above the 618 and the 65, then you would say, okay, at this point there's going to be pressure because you got the downward trend line and you got the resistance that it's creating on this level. So it could be a chance that it could break out, worst case, somewhere like right here. Or this could have been the low, and now, we're tracking maybe breaking out here, maybe breaking out somewhere over here. So you kind of just, throwing a dart in the wind right now of where the breakout's going to occur, but you can kind of see that it's already touched the 6.5 level, and as you've seen before, the price action comes off of that and does things off of that. Like, for example, if you look here, let's see what it shows here. See, it did go down to 786 here. So crypto, depending on how strong the move is, it could go down a little bit lower. So we could see something down here, but we'll see if it breaks through here. That'll be an indication if it's going to probably come down to the 786. But right now what you're doing is you're sitting and you're waiting for the price action to make a move. If it breaks up, then you figure out where that breakout happened, and then you can kind of see where targets can be. And as I mentioned earlier, this fib retracement has the algorithms have a target here, and ironically, I think this is where we derived this level yesterday. But you know, if a breakout happens, this is probably a good level. You know, first level would be the previous peak, and then another level would be up here that you might want to sell some of your trade position. And again, this is assuming that this isn't a long-term hold. This is like a trading account that you have or something along those lines, where you're getting in and getting out and just creating more funds. So that's my thoughts on Ethereum based on the current price action and where it's gone since my last video with you. Just kind of sit back and set up the trap and put the alarms on the chart if you have trading view, and just wait for it to do its thing. Again, it could be a slow bleed down to 786, which is 1500, pretty much 1500, before you might see it pop back up again. So don't be anxious, just wait. And yeah, you could also monitor Bitcoin, because it's been pretty much following in the sale winds of Bitcoin. Pretty much, you know, these guys are kind of doing the same thing. You can see this is creating the same type of bull flag. So we're done with Ethereum. You could kind of look where, you know, we got a pretty much like a 1700, 1750, and then, like I mentioned earlier, you know, 1650. So those are the three levels on the upside that when a breakout happens, you might want to consider taking some profits at those levels. Scale yourself out of the trade, move up your stop loss, and let the trade play out. All right, so let's move on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, in the previous videos, we kind of came up based on Fibonacci extensions and retracements and pitchforks and Elliott wave. We've come up with these short-term to longer-term targets, and as you can see, you know, price action actually hit exactly where we kind of said it would. This seemed to be a resistance level. It went all the way up and hit our target, and now has retraced. Now, you know, at a higher time frame, you know, it's finding support here again. So, you know, what you can do is you could kind of take, again, just like we did with Ethereum, take your fib tool, and as you can see, it's come down and it's touched multiple things. It's touched an average, EMA, and it's also wicking on the 6.5. See how it's pretty much creating a floor here? So it's resistance is happening and it's not really breaking through and coming down to 786. Now you still have to remember, you know, if these levels get broken after the 79, it's a higher probability that it's going to continue downward. So, you know, with this pivot, there's algorithms trying to drive it down to 44,000. So just remember, you're not going to do anything yet. If you're already in a trade, what you should have done if you got in the trade here, your stop loss was down here. Now you see that there's been a pivot over here. Now your stop loss should be here, and depending on what happens with price action, if it continues to come down, then you're going to get stopped out, but you've locked in some level of profits from the breakout, you know, and you're not losing money. But now if it actually respects this and starts going higher and breaks through this level, or gets, you know, back up to this level, if I were you, I would consider, or if it was me in the trade, I would consider moving my stop loss maybe up to the 79 fib, you know, right under all this consolidation and then off this pivot. You know, if you put the stop loss somewhere around here, you kind of let the You let Bitcoin have breathing room to go up, but if it comes down and breaks through this previous pivot that it put in, then you know it's probably going to go lower. So you'd want to get out. So maybe, you know, you have your stop loss here. Once it continues to come back up here and approach this resistance level, then maybe move your stop loss up here. So now you've moved it $1,000, $1,200 higher. So now you've guaranteed yourself a little bit more profit on this trade, and you're allowing it to go up if it's going to go up. Now again, on this pivot, the price target, you know, based just on that pivot, the algos are going to try and push it up to here. So, you know, if it breaks through this level, this is probably a nice target. If you, depending on how much you have and how much you want to lock in, this could be a possible lock-in target for you. Then you have these upper ones that are still there that, you know, you can kind of figure out once you see what's happening here. Once it breaks through here, you could see, you know, we could come back to this and take a look at this further and see where it is. But yeah, this is a nice resistance support level. So ideally, hopefully we're going to see this turn and break through and come up into this area soon. But also just realize if it doesn't do that and it starts breaking down, you know, it retraces 100% or it goes past the 79%, it's a good chance it's going to find its way down here. So just plan for both scenarios. If you're not in the trade, you know, one thing you could do is, if you're looking, this is a retrace, so now you should be looking for an entry point. What you can do is you can kind of draw the flagpole and the pennant here, and just wait for the breakout. So you wouldn't be trading right now. You wouldn't be getting in on anything right now. You'd be waiting for it to break this trend line on the high side, and once it does that, then you can get in. And if you wanted to figure out a possible target just from this one little pattern, you know, assuming that this 65 was respected, then this is what it would kind of look like. Let's just draw that Fibonacci retracement again. Yeah, so certainly the negative 23.6 could be a target. You know, this is the pattern target. I believe probably if it breaks through this resistance, it's probably gonna pretty quickly go up to this next level. So this wouldn't be a bad level to set as a target to get out some more. So maybe get a little bit out of here, a little bit out of here, and then move up. Like I said, move up your stop losses and see if it can reach this level, and that would be your next possible sell order to get out of that trade. So really, that's all I see for Bitcoin right now. Nothing in a bigger pattern form right now, but this is a nice bull flag looking pennant bull flag. You know, some people call it a wedge. Now, also what you can use other indicators that I haven't talked about on here yet. You can use overbought, oversold, RSI. See where things are cooling off, and if it's in oversold, then that's another indicator that price action might be changing. So those are all kind of like new things that you could bring in as you get more familiar with Fibonacci, retracements and extensions, and support and resistance. Once you get those under your belt, then you could play around. Maybe you know, Elliott wave and pitchforks are a little harder. Pitchforks are not so bad. It's just the way you got to just kind of figure out how to draw them, right? So if you want to put a pitchfork here, you would probably use this pivot right here as a pitchfork. So you would pick that high and that low, and then you would try to kind of put it in here where it has the most touches. So a lot of times you put it in the previous low, but that's a little too much. This might be pretty good. So you can kind of put it there as high to low, and then previous low is where the pitchfork start is. And then you can kind of see, like, you know, on your roadmap, if it stays within this channel, where you might see it hit target one, you know, where it might be within the channel to hit this negative 23.6. Just kind of gives you a little bit more of a timeline. You know, if the slope of this path is the same as what might happen again, then as you move this over, you could start seeing the point where you're in this channel. You know, you assume price action might make the same slope up again. Now this green line becomes within this pitchfork channel, so maybe by March 5th, which is a day or so from now, maybe this could be where this target is. So it just kind of gives you a little bit more resolution on time frame, but no one knows. I mean, for all you know, price action could do this. You can get one single candle. We've seen candles of multiple thousands of dollars. So Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do. All we could do is try to plan for it. But this could be the candle to take care of this flagpole. It could just go up from 49,000 all the way up to 55,000. I mean, it's not unheard of to see Bitcoin move 3,000-4,000 in a single candle. All right, guys. So that's it for Bitcoin. We'll very quickly look at Cardano. It's actually breaking down a little bit here. So we had drawn out this wedge pattern type thing here, and we came up with some targets. And the volume isn't high, so what you got to do is you got to continuously kind of like figure out, like, all right, where are we? Where's this pattern leading? Where's the resistance lines and things like that? This is forming more of a descending triangle, which is a bearish pattern. So you might see it come down to these levels. But right now, there's no obvious breakout of a pattern, so you just got to come in here and you got to readjust. You got to readjust the pattern to kind of show what really is going on here. And you can use this triangle, or you could just not worry about a triangle and just use lines if it's easier for you. You can kind of see these are a whole bunch of wicks. So if you were to draw something, it would this would be consistent with some support that you're seeing here. Maybe bring this down a little bit to hit just the wicks to give you the most obvious. So it's still staying within this pattern. And you could kind of bring this down a little bit. And maybe put that up here. Kind of just tweak. You got to continue tweaking it based on what new price action has happened. So, with that being said, this is a descending triangle, which is typically bearish. I'd be pretty surprised if it breaks down, because this is a bull market. But you just gotta kind of just put what the charts are showing and just kind of plan for it. So like if it breaks down there, this is where it can go. And if it breaks up, this is where it can go. Right? Somewhere around there. And you just got to keep moving that line down. I don't remember. Oh, this might have been from the flagpole. I think that was from this. Yeah, so we can keep that there. That's another possible target. And then finally what you can do is you can overlay Fibonacci on here to kind of see what's going on. And you put that on here. You can see it's not the 6.5 again. So, algorithms have a target up here, which is in between, the descending triangle and the flagpole pennant pattern, somewhere in between those two. So somewhere up in this 155 to 160, 170 is probably where when this push really turns positive, if it does, this is the range where you could possibly see the price action go from this pattern. And again, on the downside, unfortunately, we can see us go down low. Which, if you're a bull on this, that's another nice low price to buy some more Cardano. So, You know, I'm not telling you to do anything. It's not financial advice, but depending on your feelings on Cardano and if it's short-term trade or a longer-term trade, it might be a good opportunity for you to average into some more Cardano. All right, so I'm gonna. I guess I'll leave all this for the next video. But right now, nothing to do yet. You're still waiting for the breakout. You have to come in and you got to kind of adjust. Unless you see like an impulsive move, something like this. It's maybe the pattern you had didn't mature enough yet, and you just got to continue coming in and revising this and setting it up again, and then waiting for the breakout to see. I'm going to take this alarm off here. But you want to set the traps, and you want to monitor it, and then when you see a breakout with confirming, like right here, when this moved up, there was a lot of volume. So when you see volume out of the ordinary, this is the average volume. When you see a peak, you know, above the norm, then you could kind of say to yourself, that's like, you know, a confirmation of the breakout, and it's not just price action creating, you know, consolidating or building order books and things like that. If you see the breakout, then that's all of a sudden a big momentum. Someone's buying or someone's selling, you know, then you know you could take a long or you could take a short, depending on if it's a red candle or a green candle and what direction it breaks out of this descending triangle. So that's really all to say. Again, it's, you know, it's respecting this level right here, which is the previous peaks. So it is, you know, it's come down a couple times here, and it's staying above this, which is good. Now, if, you know, it continues going sideways, that just makes this a stronger level, so that if it pushes up again and it decides to retrace, you know, the retracement weight may stop somewhere around this consolidation area, and then this will be the new floor. So right now, nothing for you guys to do in terms of taking trades. Just wait for this breakout, and then you could decide what to do. And then finally, I'll take a look real quick here. There's really nothing to talk about here on Chainlink. Chainlink's really not doing much right now. It's just creating higher highs and higher lows. You know, it's kind of staying within, you know, a level of resistance here on the high side, just marching its way up. You know, it's kind of creating somewhat of a channel down here. So it's not very strong because we just have just a couple points on the bottom side, but you can kind of see that, you know, it's slowly making its way up here to this level. So yeah, there's not much to talk about with Chainlink. You know, it's continuing to go in an upward, higher high, higher low scenario, which is good. But that's all we can really say right now. I guess you could say that there's a possible bull flag also appearing here if you look at the shorter time frame. And again, you're going to see on all the charts, they're all pretty much showing the same chart areas and the same characteristics, where right now they're all kind of consolidating at the retracement of 618.65. So they're all kind of doing the same thing. So I guess really, when one of them decides to do its thing, you know, you got all four of these that are basically tracking the same patterns. You know, they're all in the downward, downward, and they're all correlated. So they're all going to kind of do the same thing. When Bitcoin starts moving up, Ethereum's going to move up, Chainlink's going to move up, and ADA's going to move up. Well, ADA hasn't really followed as strong. Like, out of all three of these, I would say maybe ADA's been the less correlated. You know, but when Bitcoin moves up, Ethereum tends to move up. And I really haven't been watching very closely, but you could very easily see how the same patterns being seen in all of these. Up, down, you know, up, down. So they're all kind of reflecting the same price action chart. So when you see one start moving, if you're in another one, you could probably take a high probability guess that the other one's doing the same thing. So, so yeah, just set your traps, set yourself up, wait for it wait for the breakouts, and then decide if you want to get into a trade, or if you're in a trade, get out of sell some based on these targets. And I wish you guys the best. I kept this under 30 minutes because we kind of have the lay down of the technical analysis already on the charts, and these are just kind of like mini update videos. So until the breakout happens, and now we have to reset and create a new pattern and figure out where we are and what's next, those videos will be a little longer. But just to summarize, price action since the last video, it's a little easier. And if you didn't see the previous video, you'll see it in the video description. You can go back and watch that to see how we actually came up with some of this, and then you could kind of see where it was, where we are, and the anticipated moves either up or down based on the breakouts that you might see in these patterns. So again, just for completeness, you could do the same thing here. You could draw either a wedge or a flag pennant right here, and just kind of wait. Use this flagpole. This pivot high to pivot low to kind of figure out where it could go. So again, the algo target's negative 32.43, and if this pattern plays out and it traces 1-to-1 AB is equal to CD, you'll see it get up to 33.3. So all right, so you can see all four of these patterns that we've been talking about basically have all the same things going on. And it's kind of cool, but the point is you can invest in either one of these, any one of the four here, and experience the percent moves on your money on any four of these. So whatever exchange you're on, whatever coins you can get to, any one of these will probably do the same. Ethereum tends to move a little bit more than Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin moves like 10%, you'll probably see Ethereum move a little bit more than 10%. So you might get more bang for your buck here. I really haven't traced or followed percent moves compared to, let's see. Take one last look here. We can kind of see how much percent. That's 7.8%. Let's see what this did. 8.96. So this one on the downside, Chainlink seems to move a little bit more compared to Ethereum. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing here. Yeah, you see how close they are? So out of the retracement side, not the upside, we could also look at the upside. Let's do that real quick, because upside is more important than downside, because we're ideally looking for the upside trade, right? So if you kind of just take a snapshot of these pivots, you can kind of see how much percentage of they're moving related to each other. Oop. Yeah, so Bitcoin, moves approximately like 12%. These are moving an extra 1.5%. So you do get a little bit more bang for your buck for trading Ethereum or Chainlink as opposed to Bitcoin. You'll squeak out an extra percent or so. So it's just something, or actually like 2%, close to 2%. So that's something to think about, depending on where you want to put your money and what you believe in. Can't go wrong with Bitcoin or Ethereum. All four of these are really good cryptos to have in a portfolio. So you really can't get wrong, but you just gotta decide which one you want to get in on, or maybe you have enough capital to do all three. You know, that's one thing that's also good, that these are correlated. If one's going to move, you know the other ones are going to move. And, you know, you can build positions in all three. Alright guys, I don't want to make this video any longer, but, you know, those are some of the things you should think about when you're considering a trade. You know, like I said, Bitcoin will move, and Ethereum and Chainlink seem to move a little bit more, 1.5% or so more when Bitcoin moves. Whatever, you know, pivot high to low, you can see that it's a little bit more than Bitcoin, which, depending on if you're using leverage trading, could be, you know, a substantial difference. If you're just buying it in, you know, just an exchange without leverage, then it probably doesn't matter too much, because 1% is not going to multiply too much because you're not using leverage. But if you're using leverage, then, you know, if you're using, like, for example, if you're using 10% leverage or 10x, then this 1.5 extra would now turn into like 15% more. So it's a substantial increase on your profit margin if you're using leverage. But like I said, if you're just buying it without leverage, you know, the 1.5% is not going to, depending on what type of move you're looking for and things like that, it's not going to make a heck of a lot of difference, but it's something to consider. All right, take care. I'll put out a video later today regarding the other opportunity when the funds hit and I can compound the account, and we'll go from there. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Make sure you subscribe to my channel.